I used to take myself out on dates, open my own damn doors, pay for everything on my plate.
Hello guys, it's Conagh and welcome back to my channel. Do I need to put lipstick on? Today's video is going to be kind of like, I don't even know what I'm going to title this. Originally I was going to film kind of like a healthy routine video, like what I do in like my day-to-day life, but I feel like I already show you that in my like weekly vlogs and everything. What I thought would be more beneficial is to kind of sit down. I've written a list on my phone of my tips and tricks on how to live a healthier lifestyle. And when I say a healthier lifestyle, I'm not talking specifically about eating or like weight loss or fitness, whatever. I'm also going to be talking about like productivity, mental well-being, just like how to improve your life if that is something that you want to do. I hope that makes sense. Just, yeah, my tips and tricks on how I kind of turned my life around, because I feel like this year has definitely been a massive journey for me in every way, shape and form, in terms of fitness, my mental well-being, like literally everything. I've done a complete transformation. So that's what I want to be chatting about today. I've compiled a list on my phone of random tips and tricks. I did not invent these. These are not Conagh Kathleen trademark things. Before we jump into the video, I do want to thank Native Deodorant for sponsoring a portion, which I will chat about soon. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We're very, very close to 450,000 subscribers. Bruh, we're gonna hit 500,000 next year, I reckon. 500,000. What do you mean? And go ahead and follow my Instagram so you know, so you can see a closer look at what I get up to in my day-to-day life. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. By the way, this crop is from the new STAX Seamless collection that just launched. I think by the time you see this video, it launched yesterday. I'm obsessed. So this is not going to be in any particular order. I feel like my number one tip for just being more productive, getting more done, just feeling better, for me personally, I know this is not for everyone, is waking up early. Now, everyone's definition of early is different. I find that I am the most productive in the morning. I feel the best in the morning. I feel like my days go better when I wake up earlier, if that makes sense. But I'm also a firm believer in that everyone's version of productivity looks different. So if waking up early is not for you, you just gotta find what works for you. However, I do find that for me, and I know a lot of other people as well, waking up early really, really helps with just getting more done in the day, because obviously you're getting more hours in the day. So I find that whenever I wake up between say 5:30 and 6:30, that's like prime time for me. I love it. I feel so positive when I wake up in the morning and I feel like I can conquer the day. I love it so much. I find that I'm not as productive when I don't wake up as early. Obviously I don't wake up super early every day, but I definitely think waking up early makes me a much more productive human being. If you've been wanting to start waking up early, I would highly recommend. Number two, kind of closely following on from that, is make your bed. I know this sounds so cliche and like everyone says, oh, make your bed. I probably make my bed 364 days out of the year. Like I make my bed every single day. Probably the second thing that I do in the morning after like going to the bathroom or something. If my bed is not made, I cannot function as a human being. I feel like if my room is messy, if my space is messy or not made, it almost like rubs off on me and I feel messy and like scattered as well. It's also like a good thing to start your day off, like you've already like accomplished something in the day, as simple as that sounds and as like silly as that sounds, making your bed. It just starts the day off right, like you've already kind of like got that ready. And like the best, I love coming back from the gym and seeing my room like clean or my bed's made. If you don't make your bed already, I would recommend that. Also, this is not me telling you that you need to do these things. This is just me giving my advice of what I would recommend. Yeah, making your bed is such a huge one, as it's such a simple one. Number two, in terms of productivity and everything like that, I would say a calendar and a to-do list are very, very important, particularly for me because I work for myself. I'm my own boss, so I need to be organized. For the longest time doing YouTube, I'm pretty sure like a lot of last year, I didn't even have a calendar, which is insane. I'm the type of person, I like a physical calendar. I like to be able to visualize it and see it on paper. I know some people like digital cameras or like a digital calendar on their computer or on their phone. I need a paper version. I don't know, my brain can't deal with it if it's on a computer. For obvious reasons, a calendar just helps you stay organized, just know when things are due, what events you've got on. Like it's just self-explanatory. Calendars are very helpful, especially now at this time of year when everything's like hectic and super busy. And as well, a to-do list is really, really helpful. As I said, because I do work for myself, not every day is going to be the same. So if I don't have a to-do list for that day, it can be a bit tricky to kind of figure out what it is I need to get done. But if I sit down at the beginning of the day or the night before and think, right, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to get this video filmed, I need to edit this, I need to like submit this, so much easier, and you can tick it off and it makes you feel more productive. I feel like the physical action of ticking things off, it's very therapeutic and it makes me feel like I'm being productive. I will even put things on there like wash my hair. I know they're not for everyone, but they are very helpful when it comes to being more productive, in my opinion. Those are kind of like my lifestyle or like productivity tips so far. Moving more into like the health and fitness side, I would say start slowly. That's my biggest piece of advice. I think starting slowly will give you wiggle room to make mistakes. I definitely focused on one or the other first. Like when it came to diet and exercise, I kind of looked at my diet first and tackled that first before worrying about exercise. It was just easier for me to kind of like take on at one time, and I found that much more successful for me. Same goes with like going to the gym. I kind of started out going like 2 days a week, only doing 2 days a week and then walking, and then kind of increasing it and not being so hard on myself if I missed a day at the gym, because I feel like when you are really hard on yourself, you can sometimes have an all or nothing mindset, which I definitely can. Like if you miss one day, you're like, oh okay, I've ruined it, I'll just start again next week. But that's probably not the best way to go about it, because I don't know, I was able to stick with a regular exercise routine by being easy on myself. Like today, for example, I didn't go to the gym because I didn't feel like it. I feel like at the beginning or before I even started this health fitness journey, I would have been like, oh my god, like I need to, and you really don't. Your body needs rest just as much as it needs exercise. Now with that said, obviously there are times when you want to push yourself and you want to be more disciplined. Even if you don't feel like going, you're like, nope, I'm gonna get this done. I think in the beginning in particular, you gotta listen to your body and think, right, I'm just starting out, give myself a break, cut myself some slack, itchy nose. Don't be so hard on yourself. Start slowly. So number 5, I would say, is just moving your body. Like literally all of last year, I didn't move my body at all. I didn't go for walks. I didn't really exercise. I didn't do anything, and it impacted on my health. I think moving your body, even if that's going for a walk, is honestly so good for your mental health and obviously your physical health. That's probably the best exercise that you could possibly start with. Like if you're starting from zero, just start going for walks, even if that's walking around your house. Obviously with Corona and some countries are in lockdown at the moment, it makes it extra hard, but just moving your body in some way, shape or form is probably the best place you can start. I don't move my body every single day, like to the extent of like closing my move rings on my Apple Watch, but I do my best to not sit down for the whole day, which it can be a bit tricky sometimes because I do sit down and edit for a lot of the day. Okay, number 6, in terms of like eating and whatnot, I would say mindful eating is probably the one that I struggle with the most even now. And when I say mindful eating, this looks different for everyone. I feel like the biggest thing that I changed in terms of my diet was being more mindful about what I was putting into my body, because beforehand I would just kind of snack all the time, just eat foods that weren't the best for me, and that in conjunction with not moving just didn't help me. For me personally, mindful eating meant kind of just taking a look at what I was actually putting into my body, what macros, how much protein I was consuming, how many carbs, etc. And kind of tracking that with an app, which I know is not for everyone. If you think that's going to be too triggering for you, definitely don't do it. That's not the only way that you can be more mindful about what you're eating. Absolutely not. But for me, that was the most helpful, because when it does come to losing weight, if that is your goal, being in a calorie deficit is the way to do it, which is just science. Being in a calorie deficit, burning more calories than you consume creates a deficit. With that also, I really loved intermittent fasting. I haven't been doing it probably for the past like month or so, just because I don't feel it necessary anymore. I loved doing it at the start because it kind of like helped me put you in a calorie deficit, obviously because it pushes back that first meal and you have a smaller eating window, and I really enjoyed it, and I might introduce it again. There's a ton of other benefits to intermittent fasting, obviously, other than weight loss, but at the moment I just don't feel the need to be doing it. It's definitely personal preference. Intermittent fasting is not for everyone. One of the most important aspects of like working out and burning calories is making sure to eat enough protein, because your muscles desperately need protein to grow. If you're not eating enough protein, you might find that you feel really weak or you're not satisfied. It's really important that you should be eating every single macro, which carbs, fat, and protein. I know I've said in the past I eat like a lower carb diet. I definitely don't eat a low carb diet, that's for sure. Absolutely not. I have bananas, oats, pasta. I eat carbs. Getting enough protein is really, really important when it comes to building muscle and staying full. I pretty much have a source of protein with every single meal, unless it's like a snack, like unless it's like me just having some vegetables or something, or carrot or cucumber. I can guarantee you I will have some form of protein with every meal, whether that's chicken, ham, eggs, fish, oats, protein powder, protein bar. I love protein. That's definitely my favorite macro, if you will, protein. So yeah, I would highly recommend eat enough protein, eat enough fat, eat enough carbs. Don't deplete yourself. And with that said, I would say eat a lot of vegetables and high volume foods. If you guys have seen me make my giant salad, that is a perfect example of high volume foods. I love getting a massive bowl of lettuce because if you are trying to eat in a calorie deficit, eating high volume foods is the best way to go about it because it makes you feel like you're eating a lot of food because you are eating a lot of food. You're just eating a lot of like low calorie foods. So I love having my big bowl of lettuce, filling it with so many vegetables, adding my source of protein, adding my fat. It's super filling and it's gonna keep me in that calorie deficit. If that's your goal, I still have it now. I just love having my giant salad. It's hilarious. My dad will always look at me like, you're gonna eat that entire thing? I'm like, yeah. Yes, I am. I could literally eat an entire iceberg lettuce. I'm not exaggerating. So yeah, things like veggies, egg whites is a really good high volume food that you can have a lot of that's lower calorie. They're also super high in protein, which is really good. Leafy greens, I literally will snack on carrots all the time. I will often put in some frozen veggies into a container, chuck it in the microwave and eat that as a snack. If you don't already eat veggies in your diet, definitely try to include them. Try and make your diet as colorful as it can possibly be if you are trying to improve your diet. And one of the most cliche ones of all is drink water. I have never been the type of person to drink water. I've been pretty good for the past couple months, I would say. I pretty much always have this bad boy with me. And I try to refill that as much as I can because obviously drinking enough water is super important, especially if you're in Australia. We're going into summer, you need the water. I love also adding like my JEUNEORA into big things of water or the X50 green tea into them just to give me something to taste. So it's not just like water, water, water. I also feel like drinking water out of a straw is helpful. As weird as that sounds, I feel like it makes it so much easier. But yeah, drinking water is definitely a super important one. I personally need to work on not having so much caffeine. We all have our vices. Mine is caffeine, as I'm drinking coffee as I'm filming this video. It's all about balance at the end of the day. In terms of eating as well, I'm the type of person where I can eat the same thing every single day and I'm right. Like I'll find something that I love and I stick to it. Lately, I've been obsessed with my protein pizza, which I love. It makes healthy eating so much fun when you can have things like pizza, edamame pasta is amazing, my cauliflower smoothies, my pancakes. People will always ask, how can you not eat junk food? It's because I'm not making myself miss out on the things that are junk food. Like I have pizza, I'll eat pancakes. It's just like a different way of going about it. And I think that's really, really helpful for me because I don't personally crave junk food, but I would never tell anyone to not eat junk food because it is all about balance. And if you want Macca's one day, go for your life. My junk food's probably sushi. And I let myself have sushi. Like, you can't be so strict with yourself to the point where you feel like you're being deprived of your favorite foods because you gotta live your life at the end of the day. Life's too short to deprive yourself of the foods that you wanna eat. I'm not doing that. I don't know about you. I also think one of the biggest things for me was finding an exercise form that I enjoyed doing. For me personally, I love group fitness like F45. I literally don't have to think about it. They tell me what to do and I move my body and then I'm out in 45 minutes, which I love. I do like working out at a gym. I just think for a day-to-day basis, I do prefer things like F45. I think if you are starting out as well, classes are so helpful because if you don't know what you're doing, going into a gym on your own with like no plan is so overwhelming. Like there's all this type of equipment and then half the time you end up just like walking on the treadmill. At least that's what I used to do. I would also say don't be scared of lifting weights. I know a lot of girls think that it's gonna make them look bulky. It definitely doesn't. Lifting weights is what's gonna increase your metabolism. It's gonna build your muscle. It's gonna give you that shape. Lifting weights is probably much more important than cardio. That's why I do love F45 because it is a combination of HIIT and weights. I do want to even start doing more weights so I can kind of like build more muscle and, you know, shape my body in the way that I want to shape it. I feel like we've passed that point where everyone knows that like lifting weights is the best thing ever. If you are in the position to have a friend go with you to the gym, that's always good. Even if they just join like the trial with you and then they don't go, that's also super helpful. Like my mum came with me to my F45 trial, just so I had someone with me, you know? So yeah, try and find an exercise that you love, whether that's dancing, whether that's ice skating, rollerblading, whatever. Find something that you enjoy doing because you're probably more likely to stick to it. And then coming back into kind of more the health, mental well-being part of it, I would say do your best to switch off at nighttime. For me, this is something that I struggle with definitely, and I probably don't do it. Giving yourself that time to rest, self-care, is so important when it comes to your health and well-being. Self-care is being productive. All right, it's being productive. I have to remind myself that whenever I'm like taking time out to just relax and chill out, because otherwise you can burn yourself out and it's not sustainable. You really need to switch off. At nighttime, I don't really vlog, I don't really film videos just because it's my time to kind of unwind and relax, because otherwise I just never switch off and my brain will constantly be moving from one place to the next and I would explode. As I said before, your body needs rest just as much as it needs exercise. For a lot of people who are like workaholics or are just go, 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 resting is probably harder than getting stuff done. For me, I try and do minimal work on the weekends. It is hard when it's like a busy time of year, or, you know, it's not always possible to like take a complete day off, but like whether that's just literally going for a 10-minute walk or watching a YouTube video or just having a cup of tea, like rest where you can because your body needs it. But yeah, those are kind of my tips and tricks for leading a healthier lifestyle, things that have kind of changed my life, if you will. I feel like, yeah, this year's definitely been quite a transformative year for me in every shape and form. If you told January me that I would be where I am in terms of my health and fitness, how I am as a person, I'm so independent now, and I used to never be like this. And yeah, I feel like definitely these tips and tricks have helped me immensely. Like I think I made my 2020 plan video or my goals for 2020, and health and fitness was definitely one of them. My big goals for this year is to really get back into health and fitness and get back into the gym, because it makes me feel so much better in a number of ways. It makes me feel more accomplished. It makes me feel mentally a lot better because of the endorphins, and obviously I want to, like, physically it helps. Physically it helps. So yeah, I haven't joined a gym. I'm probably gonna join something like F45 if you guys are familiar with that in Australia. Make sure you comment down below any other videos you want to see from me. I know you guys want to see a workout routine, but as always, I hope you guys are having a lovely day or night wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.